And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guests. She's a writer, musician, and host of the podcast Crimes of the Heart. It's Rory Uphold. And he's a comedian and writer who can help you out if you're looking for a cut-rate coffin. It's Joe Kwaczala. Tone Zone is here to continue to assert that his gold record is real. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little overnight oats. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by Jason Best. And yes, I am on Patreon. All sorts of fun stuff over there. You can get episodes of my bonus Patreon podcast, The Friend Zone. Just put one up with all the dirty details. Are they dirty details? I don't know. They're just all the details. I guess they're just, would you like me to move on, Tony?
Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about.
I got stuck. I got trapped in a cul-de-sac in my own brain. All the dirty details about my appearance on For Crying Out Loud, because people had a lot of questions and I had a lot to share. And then Daniel and I are actually about to we'll record and then upload an Ask Me Anything episode.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be open topic.
Yeah. They can ask us, hence the anything, and ask us anything. There's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. All sorts of fun stuff. Do an annual subscription and get 2 months free.
That's a good deal.
Patreon.com/HouseFrozen. Okay. I would like to say hello to my guests, Joe Kwaczala.
Hi, hello.
It's been too long.
It is. You know, I've always said the dirt is in the details.
Yes.
You know,
and that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then joining us for the first time on a Thursday group show, it's Rory Uphold. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Daniel Quantz.
Yeah. Hi.
I took a poll on Patreon this morning that you know about this. To find out, do they want to ask me anything with just me or both of us? They want both of us. A few people want me.
What was that percentage?
Well, right now it's at 27% want me, and I know it's crept up from 16% want me.
Okay, that 27%.
I
Out
know.
yourselves.
Yeah.
Who's not a friend of Dan?
Right, because they're either with you or against you,
That's
right?
right. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. You can't have gray areas with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're either here or you're there.
Yeah. You're obsessed with me or you hate me.
That's right.
Yeah. I get it.
Tony knows.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started.
He hates you.
I love it. As long as you feel something.
Is the opposite of obsession hatred?
Yes.
Or is it apathy? The age-old
It's apathy.
Right.
Nothing cuts deeper than someone that doesn't care.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, someone that says something mean, for me personally, cuts deeper. But that's just a me thing. Well, it depends what kind of mean. Let's get into that.
Yeah, that's true. If it's
Later.
coming from a friend, that's different than it's romantic.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Hello, Tony Thaxton.
Hi.
Did you notice that Tony, when he kisses people, uses a lot of tongue, and it's pretty gross? I don't even remember saying that.
You just said it right now. The listener doesn't know.
I know, but I have amnesia, and I have no
AI?
short-term memory. No, when did I say that?
It was a very long time ago. You were actually talking about Tony Soprano.
Oh,
But I've had that for a while, wanting to find the right time to.
Yeah, I would say that was right.
That was perfect.
Seamless.
I had a lot of follow-up questions, though.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how Tony Thaxton kisses.
And that would be my number one question.
And it's
Yeah.
a time for us all to find out.
Yes.
Today's segment.
Once the rain stops, I'm setting up my booth outside.
in today's segment called Who's Kissing Tony? And we usually start with the person to the right. So, Joe, it's you.
I would start. Now, who's kissing Tony? Does that mean everyone's eyes are closed and they are just hearing
Yes.
Well, then I guess if it's Who's Kissing Tony, we can't know where we're starting.
Right,
Because if we
okay.
start with me, then we know who's kissing Tony.
It's a combination
Not a very
of
good game.
I think somebody doesn't want to go first.
a combination of Pin the Tail on the Donkey, musical chairs, and Name That Tune.
Okay.
So we all get blindfolded. Someone spins us around, and then someone's lips lock with Tony's, and then everyone else just listens.
I see. And then, but also Tony should have... Tony should be the one who's guessing, right? It's like, who's kissing Tony?
Oh,
and
this
so
is
like,
better.
he's blindfolded.
Right.
He can be, I don't know, up against the wall. And then we each approach him, kiss him, and then he has to guess who he thinks is kissing him. I think that's Who's Kissing Tony.
I mean, from a game perspective, it just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a lot of insight into the way your brain works just now.
What did you learn?
That
me.
was really fast and really detailed. And I was
know.
like, wow. And it was also the inverse of everything I was thinking.
And also the way he said, I don't know, up against a wall, he made it seem like because he's positioning Tony. Are you uncomfortable, Tony?
No, not at all. I'm getting
Okay,
turned
so
on.
let's keep
He
going.
was positioning Tony against the wall, but he said it like, I don't know, like he just thought of it, but I feel
Right.
like he didn't just think of it, like he's been thinking about it.
Right.
a
Well,
lot.
I can walk you through the thought
Please,
process.
please.
Let's go.
First, that came to me when you said pin the tail on the donkey. I was like, if we're incorporating those elements, you think of the picture up against the wall. In this case, we put
Sure.
Tony up against
I'm
the wall.
the perv here.
But as I was saying it, I was like, well, there's something kind of aggressively sexual about pinning him against the wall while you kiss him. So I threw in the I don't know as a nod to my acknowledgement.
Okay.
But Rory, I want to know if what your a radically different take
Yeah.
on this game would be
Your
as an
opposite
insight into you, if you got an insight into me.
And
Well-
she does host a dating podcast, and so she's not a prude.
Okay. Well,
Oh, yeah.
we'll
I know.
see.
I talk about sex publicly. all the
Yeah.
Well, my first thought was like, it was more of a confessional style, like, who is he kissing? So then we were going to hear the stories about all the different people that he's kissing.
I see.
Was where my mind first went, because that is normally what I'm
Like
doing.
we'd call up his ex-wife.
Oh, is that available? Yeah, let's fucking do that.
Let's not do that.
I'm just saying that's what you had in mind,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Like
exactly.
a like a VH1 behind the music, but like behind those
behind the
lips.
lips. Yes.
So in this case, Tony is describing a former makeout sesh with someone, and from the details alone, we're guessing.
Well, then I think it's actually
Oh.
we're meeting those people.
Oh,
We're
I
actually
see.
learning
I
about
see. Okay.
we're learning about
Men
Tony
or,
through his
people.
kisses.
Yes, exactly.
And it would be called Bizarre Kisses.
Who's kissing Tony? Right, but it's not a game. It's no longer a game show anymore.
It sounds like
It's
it can be a
documentary.
brand that incorporates a lot of different things, from games to
Yes.
documentaries, shows and movies.
Right, to podcasts, as Daniel
It's an
mentioned.
IP that you could really
Yes, this is
build.
the intellectual property that we all came up with. Unfortunately, we were going to have to cut Tony out of it.
Naturally.
You're just the talent.
I'm used to it.
He's got skin in the game too, and so
Literally.
quite literally, and so we can't. He has to remain an outsider despite being the core.
Right. Who's the first person you kissed, Tony?
In
In the
life?
world.
We
Yeah.
don't give. Oh, I thought you said we don't give that away before the premiere.
Oh
That's why
my
they
God.
tune in.
Maybe you're right. Well, you know what? That's not even Patreon right now. I'm feeling very generous. Let's let them in on a little, brainstorming session.
Give them a taste.
Yeah. We're giving them a kiss of your kiss. Who's the? Do you remember who your first kiss was?
Yeah. It was my first girlfriend.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was old. Like I was a big wuss all throughout school, and so I was like, I wouldn't really ask girls out or anything. So I was like just out of high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
By that point, I'd had so many fake boyfriends, but most notably Steve, who I met on a ski trip.
Fake boyfriends?
Yeah, because I had kissed someone.
For
but I was
her, they were her boyfriend, but they didn't know it.
no.
That's what it sounded like.
yeah.
That's how I would have summarized.
I
it.
had those later.
Oh,
This was
okay.
like fully pretend. Like I was embarrassed of how little experience I'd had, so I just like made up boyfriends out of whole cloth.
Oh,
she
like
was
they're
not
in
fake.
Canada.
They're not
Yeah.
real people.
Correct. I mean, maybe-
George Glass. Do you know that
Yes,
reference?
from Brady Bunch.
Yes.
I am exaggerating when I say several. There was just like one.
For a second, I was thinking Philip Glass, and I was like, why would a child in high school pretend to be dating this
Because I
experimental
like his.
composer?
Yeah. I love what he does with soundscapes.
Yes.
Although it would explain why she didn't have real boyfriends.
It was
Yes, they
performance art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and also my taste. Okay, so it was your first girlfriend. You were 18?
Something like that. Yeah.
Now, had she kissed a lot of people?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
And we're calling her up.
And this is Kissing Tony.
Who's kissing Tony?
Funny that you asked this though, because literally I got a message from her on Instagram yesterday,
Dun, dun,
She tried it.
dun.
and I hadn't
tried
heard.
it.
I hadn't heard from her in a long time.
Wow.
That is nuts.
I still talk to
I
the
told you
first
this stuff
kiss.
keeps happening to me all the time. Like something gets talked about, and then or somebody reaches out, and then they
Would she like to get involved in like sort of the pilot stage of this? You know, there might be some kind of shopping agreement.
I don't see this happening. No.
What is she doing now?
I don't really know. All I know is she lives in
Listening
Bermuda.
to this?
She's married and lives in Bermuda.
Oh my God.
The marriage might
Do we have
be a
the
deal
budget for
breaker.
that?
How does that happen to a person that they end up in Bermuda?
Yeah, especially when they're from
she-
like Mechanicsburg.
Her husband is from Bermuda, and also,
he's
do you
from
know
there.
where Bermuda is? Because I learned this through her.
It's near
like
the
ocean?
triangle.
It sounds much more.
ocean.
That's what I was thinking.
The water.
No, like, let me double check this
south of
because
Florida,
maybe I'm
right?
crazy. No,
No.
I think it's like near North Carolina.
Cut
like
that
it's
out, that
not
makes-
where you
what?
think it is.
Oh,
What?
really?
Yeah, let me confirm
That
this,
sounds
but
fake.
no, I agree.
I think of it as in the Caribbean. Is
Yeah,
that
That's
wrong?
what I think.
What am I
Yeah.
thinking of then?
No, you might be right. Are you thinking of the Bermuda Triangle?
No, it's okay. Yeah, Bermuda.
This isn't like a situation where there's like a Hollywood, Florida, but like we're all really thinking about the Hollywood in California.
I think Bermuda and the Bahamas I get confused.
Yeah,
Come on, pretty mama.
it says the closest land outside the territory is in the American state of North Carolina,
Get
about
out of here.
1,035 kilometers to the west northwest.
Interesting, because I am looking at the Bermuda Triangle
Where's
on my
that?
map app, and that is,
Is that in Roswell?
it is a little bit north of the Dominican Republic.
And that makes more sense to me
Yes,
in my brain.
that's where I would have guessed if I wasn't too completely
Yeah.
nervous of sounding idiotic.
See, and I don't
I
have,
just went for
Even
it.
as I said
Yeah.
it, I thought
I don't
oh,
have that affliction. So is any of this near Florida? Because I figure you go to Florida and
mean,
then you go south.
I'm
East-
showing
all
Allison
East
the
Coast,
triangle.
but-
It is the same latitude as Miami, but it's like over a ways.
Okay.
But like,
But I mean, if you really want to, you could swim. I'm joking. You couldn't.
Someone probably has.
Bermuda's like way out there though.
Yeah,
It's like
it is.
further
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what
Atlantic
I thought too.
than some of those other Caribbean places.
But now
it
I'm
says.
curious, like the differences between the triangle and Bermuda proper.
Right.
But that's got to be an easy Google.
All I know is Monica from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's family is from Bermuda.
Okay, I see an island called Bermuda, and that is straight up in the middle of the Atlantic.
Well, wouldn't that be it? That's the one I was thinking of.
I think so. Yeah, this guy, you have to really zoom in.
This is the one that's near North Carolina.
You're not talking about the Bermuda.
I don't know, I wouldn't say close to North Carolina.
The closest land outside the territory is in the American state of North Carolina, about 1,035 kilometers.
But that's misleading. You can also say
Right.
what's like the closest part of America that's near Ireland. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they're close, Tony.
But it's the
I won't be kissing
closest
Tony tonight.
land.
Yeah, that's the deal breaker.
Yes, I could see that. I'm looking at it, and I'm sadly going to have to confirm with Tony.
Can I see this?
Yeah.
This is riveting for the guys.
So
Wait.
not close, but like if you were to draw the closest straight line.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Excuse
Tony
me.
is
That's
a
a
real
misleading
propagandist over here.
factor. I'm glad I'm not
Yeah.
kissing you
Okay,
right now.
is it
That's
anywhere
misleading.
near you where you thought it was?
I didn't
Yes,
think about it.
I did
and
say in the middle of the
wouldn't-
ocean.
Yeah, Rory and I were,
In the middle of the ocean. Thank you.
conferring, and we decided that its specific location is the ocean.
We nailed it.
All right. I'm glad we got that all figured out. Now, I had forgotten that Tony Soprano is a real tongue forward kisser. We watched Sopranos. Well, I watched it way after everyone else watched it. And really what sticks out to me, Joe got excited.
I'm watching it for the first time as of like a week ago.
Have you noticed
Wow.
his kissing?
Not exactly.
know.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
not. I have a lot of new stuff I'm
Okay.
paying attention to. The kissing.
Wait, how far into it are you?
I'm like 5 episodes in
Oh,
season 1.
and there's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's more kissing later, but
I imagine.
I think so.
I can't
But
wait.
the thing that's
I don't know if you know this. Great show.
You know what? Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
it's what's funny is the thing that stands out to me now, all said and done, watched it, enjoyed it. I had the epiphany that I really hate boats and I never want to be on one because there's an episode. I mean, I've been on them before and perhaps I'll be on them again, but like I get seasick. There's an episode where they're on a boat and just watching it made me seasick.
Oh dang.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that is what I take away from it. That's the most visceral reaction, not feeling a little bit repulsed by all the tongue. And yet also a little bit attracted to him at times, which I didn't see coming.
You were fine with all the murder, but the boats.
Oh,
It was an emotional
wanna be on
murder
a
of
boat.
sorts. Yeah.
I watched that Natalie Wood documentary and she drowns.
That would
and I
awesome.
watched it during COVID and now I have like a really pretty extreme fear of drowning, which is weird because I've seen a lot of things that scare me and they've never like penetrated my soul in that
Right.
way. And so now I have reoccurring nightmares about drowning and now I'm afraid of boats.
Dude.
So when you said that, it really struck a chord with me.
On that documentary,
Let's
what
never go on a cruise.
What conclusion do they draw
Never.
about how she drowned?
Oh, it seemed like the husband was a little sus, but the kids don't want to, like, since it's their only relative, they kind of like had his back. I don't know. I was so hyper focused on the fact that I'm going to drown that I really, that's my takeaway.
Now, why did that more than all the other stuff really drive this fear home for you?
Because I started having dreams about it. And then I get in my head where I'm like, wait, is this a sign? Like, am I
premonition.
doing this or is this a premonition? And then I think it like deepens those neural pathways. So now, like, not every night, I'm not a total psycho. But a lot of nights I'll like go to be falling asleep and then I'll see water and I'm like, stop it. And I have to like be like daisies or like think of something different. Yeah, I'm like really afraid of it, which is weird because I am a deep sea diver.
Well,
What?
that's weird.
Hang on.
That was information that was pertinent, I think.
Well, just
see that
meaning
part
like
coming.
I've been like 100 feet underwater. You know what I mean? Like I
I
feel-
understand
I can
now
see-
why you would have dreams about
Right.
drowning.
Yeah.
Like I can see how I
That was
would be
burying the
afraid.
lead a little
You
bit.
really made
Yeah.
it seem random, and it wasn't.
Wait, what does deep sea diving involve? Is this a scuba
It just
thing?
means 60 to 100 feet. It's a different certification.
But scuba, right?
Yeah.
You ever did
That's
this near Bermuda?
horrifying.
No.
Have
So
you
wait,
kissed
how do
Tony?
you scuba dive
Not
without
yet.
being on a boat?
Well,
Well, you
I
don't do the-
haven't done it since
Oh,
COVID.
so now you won't do it.
And now I'm like so
I see.
scared. Like I'm like,
see.
ooh, this seems like such a bad idea. There've been so many warnings, like, you know, at least once a week.
Did you enjoy it before all the fears?
Oh yeah.
What's fun about it?
You get to see things you've never seen before. I felt really safe doing it because I'm good at it. I mean, I've been with sharks. I've been in caves with sharks. I've had like
Caves?
krill clean my teeth. You like open it up and you let them swim in. And they,
Oh my god!
Your
and
teeth.
they're,
is
they're
like-
into the plaque and stuff.
yeah.
This is like the dental version of that pedicure where fish eat your dead skin off your feet,
Which
right?
is weird because I couldn't handle that.
You
But
tried that.
yeah. I mean, if like you
But
see,
them in my mouth, that's fine.
How do you get the krill to stop cleaning your teeth?
you just blow out. Like the bubbles like freak them out.
Okay.
So you just breathe.
Wait, so you went
I
into
just
a cave
realized. Wait, I just
underwater?
realized how weird I just made this.
No.
And now that it's gonna be public,
Don't judge
I'm like,
yourself.
oh boy, this is yeah.
Would
I'm
you
that
like
weirdo.
to? Would you like to like put some kind of spin on it and try to make it sound normal? Because I don't know if that you can.
Oh no, we're that ship has sailed.
Okay.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the caves? You've scuba dived into underwater caves?
Yeah.
I wanna know about
that.
that,
is my
but
number
everyone-
one fear.
On
Yeah,
this end of the
it's not
table is
mine.
still stuck on krill inside her mouth.
Well, why don't you
cleaning,
table
right?
that for a second? We're talking about caves.
Okay.
Yeah.
How narrow were these caves?
You could fit a few bodies. It's not too narrow.
And you weren't afraid that it was just going to collapse and they'd never find you again?
No, because I started doing this when I was younger, so I was a lot dumber. And I
Yeah.
hadn't seen I mean, I will tell you the Thai diver sitch really put me off caves. Like that's a no-go. I wouldn't do that ever again. Not
Remind me
that
what
was,
happened. I know
With the kids that got
the
trapped?
kids
Oh,
were
God.
like
when was this?
I don't know, so
a long
long
time
ago.
ago.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
was like Obama, I think. and there wasn't
think you did
water.
Did you go sabotage?
The next thing you find out is I'm like a crazy right wing conspiracy theorist. Want to be fun? No, they were camping, and then torrential rains happened, and they got trapped.
Right, because the water rose. And
Okay, so they weren't
couldn't-
deep sea diving.
No,
they
no.
were just okay.
But still, like reading about the caves, like created such a visceral image in my mind. I think that's what happens. Is like I imagine things, they strike like a real emotional chord, and then I'm like, well, that's it for me.
Yes. So, sharks.
Sharks underwater don't scare me. Like I don't really.
That's where they would stand.
No, because that's their like.
Shark,
that's-
honestly, a shark walking around though,
Not as
swinging a baseball bat, I would get kind of
I
scared.
mean, it would be freaky.
An angry shark approaching my car.
I feel like I'd have the upper hand in that situation, though.
I don't know. Famously, the street sharks. Were
Yes, you're right.
dangerous crew.
He's a jet.
Well, if you're snorkeling and you see a shark, that is problematic. But if you're scuba diving, that's where they're supposed to be, and they're chill and like this is like
you
you're
mean like
in there.
they've come up to
Yes.
your beach,
Correct.
to attack you.
Correct. So it's like I don't snorkeling, not really. I used to not be into snorkeling, only into diving, and now I'm like I think I'm just into being in the shade on the beach.
Okay, one more question, but I don't know. I can't guarantee this is the last one. The krill in your mouth. Now, is this happening in the deep sea or like?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're just like sticking your mouth in the water, opening it, and being like, ah.
And you basically have to not breathe because the bubbles will scare them.
And what's the? Is this
The
like
point
I can't
is to
imagine
just
it's
do it.
Right, it's not
There
like
is
a
no
good
point.
dental cleaning or something.
No,
It's not like
no.
Is it like tingle in like a fun way?
Yeah.
I figured.
like
This is why
pop
they-
rocks.
Wow. You know.
Although that's a tongue sensation. This is like in
Yeah, it's
your
like you
gums
just kinda
and
feel it.
teeth.
Would you do it, Joe?
I would be open to it.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just sounds so
Random.
strange.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I guess so. Why not? Let's get
Those
these things
clean-
shining.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
They'll clean
Tony?
your teeth. Will they do a root canal?
I'll have to go back and ask.
Tony?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
I'm not like dying to, but I think sure if you put me on the spot, yeah, why not?
Daniel, would you?
I don't know what a krill looks like.
It's
sort
a
of depends.
brine
shrimp.
It's a sea monkey.
What?
Is sea monkeys before your time?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is. I thought you meant like
Those
a.
tiny little.
Who?
tiny little
Wait. Who
shrimps.
here at the table knows what sea monkeys are?
I do.
Joe.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when we were, I think you're younger than we are. When we were kids, there was this unfun toy called sea monkeys, where you get a packet of like sea monkeys.
It was advertised like actual monkey mermaid. type
tiny
things.
monkeys playing with a,
Like you
a
could get
beach
these at
ball.
home.
And like for me, the iconic advertisement is like in the back of a comic
Yes.
book, and they would have what these illustrations of what they are supposed to be,
Yeah.
which is like these mermen,
Yeah.
like living.
Whole
Tiny,
family.
But they
in a
don't
nautical
start off as
fantasy.
monkeys?
No, there's nothing monkey about this. So what? So
the branding.
what it is? It's a packet of brine shrimp egg. How are they like in?
Transported, like freeze dried, and then sent to you,
Yeah.
and then they're alive.
I don't
they're
know.
alive.
So it's brine
They're
shrimp.
sold as eggs.
Yeah, brine.
see.
It's a packet of brine shrimp eggs, and then this little tank that has these little like magnification bubbles on
You
it.
can still buy them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then so basically, you just have pet brine shrimp, but
That
they're
they
called
decided to call sea
yes.
monkeys?
It was
it's
all
it's
marketing.
branding of the highest order.
Yes,
it's like the
because
most boring.
They
like,
disappointed every child because they don't play with a beach ball.
There
They-
isn't
and they
a
don't look
single
like
thing
monkeys.
that you could buy from the back of a comic book that wasn't disappointing.
So
all
this is like a classic advertisement where like
they
they're
look
it's like a
hot.
family and they look kind of cut and like,
Yeah, see?
they're living in a castle and you would think that they would become a part of your family, but really they're just like they're bugs, like they're
Right.
sea bugs
Sea
more
bugs.
than
Right.
monkeys.
Yeah, that
So
was
that's what-
it was a sea bug.
That's what they are, Daniel.
So I wouldn't, for a couple reasons. One, I would probably be afraid I would eat them like somehow, and also I'm not going to be there because I don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, there's that part too.
Yeah.
So that would be hard. I'll let them do it here if they can reach
Yeah,
me.
right. Okay. I
We
see.
can get sea
It's
monkeys.
funny at that point. It's like, well, I guess I would let bugs crawl into my mouth and clean.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That would be the one thing keeping me from doing it underwater. Is it just feels like, would you open your mouth and let bugs get in there and mess around?
No,
but the fact that you're like, they will all go away the second you breathe. It's like
They say that,
and here,
but
then
what if one doesn't?
something happens? Here you are swallowing a bunch of krill.
I guarantee it, I'd end up swallowing one. That's
Yeah.
just how it goes.
It's probably worse for him or her.
I would argue that.
Yeah,
too.
I'm not considering their feelings, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, they're a sea bug.
Okay, so yesterday I had a driving experience. First of all, this is the hyper local content people are tuning in for. Have you noticed, people who live on this side of town, that the second you get over the hill, suddenly everyone is the most aggressive driver
The
in the
second
world?
you get over onto the other side of the hill.
Like
I'm
Hollywood.
not
I
good
see.
with
Los
geography.
Angeles.
Out of the valley.
Out of the
Yes, thank you.
into the fire.
into the crucible. So I was taking a right turn from Cahuenga onto Franklin, where you cannot make a right turn on red. So I didn't, and everyone started honking at me. Why are you rolling your eyes
I'm
already?
trying to I'm not. I'm trying to imagine Cahuenga and Franklin. Go ahead.
I think I know what you're talking. You like pass the bowl.
Yes,
Right.
and then you're like taking the thing where when Waze
Oh, it's
tells
like-
you to.
Sorry.
When Waze tells me to do this, I'm like, oh, don't take me up in there, please.
It's like takes you past like the Magic
Magic Castle.
right?
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
trying to
like
take a right.
There's a big billboard
Yeah.
to your left, and like it's you. If you go straight, you're like in the heart of Hollywood.
Yes.
You're like passing Hollywood.
And that's a
Highland.
no right on red.
Well,
It's also not a typical intersection.
Right.
It's not like a normal like cross. It's kind of
Kinda
weird.
yeah, it's a little bit.
Kind of like a
It's right by the
Y-ish,
freeway.
so.
It's not a 90-degree angle.
And I wish it were
There's like a sort of like a
bend.
there's So everyone's honking at me, and I'm in my little car, like pointing to the sign, like look. That's the sound of my arm. Look, and then the honking. I mean, it wasn't just the car behind me; it was the car behind me and like 50 cars. Or
You sure it
felt
wasn't
like-
no right during rush hour only?
I
or-
looked for another sign,
Yeah,
and I did
I'm
not
familiar
see
with
one.
that intersection. I think you're correct. I think it's just no
right.
right turn.
So everyone was honking at me, and I just went like, okay. And so I just went. Nothing bad happened. But I was thinking, I feel like that's a bit of a test, and I feel like I failed it.
Now you know what you'd do during the Holocaust.
Oh, I think you know right now.
Yes.
But that's interesting because it's like, well, is it for the? Are you breaking a little rule that maybe doesn't apply? Right, like it. Like you could assess that there's no danger, right? Like that if you turned right, it was probably
It's not a
gonna be fine.
blind turn.
No.
Yeah.
There was really no assessment. There was just me going,
I don't want to be honked at. I don't like this. Make it stop. I'll do what it takes.
They're gonna like attack me.
See, that
That's
is
how.
so weird. My reaction is, "Fuck you! I'm gonna get out of my car.
Oh, I
I'm
mean,
gonna walk away, and now you guys
Abandon
are
the car.
fucked."
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's so smart.
when that happens, like my
Why didn't I
fight
think of
or
that?
flight kicks in, and I'm like, well, now it's time to fight.
Were you pointing outside of your car window? Were you just going?
No,
like,
I was inside my car, hoping
so
that
nobody
they
would
my
see the
arm.
silhouette.
Oh, why didn't I use my left arm?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I figured they're all in.
That's when you do the moonroof. You open it and then
And
you,
then
just
you-
point like this out.
I
the
mean,
thing.
in my mind, I imagined, not in that moment, but afterwards, I imagined like
The
I should
next
have
car seeing it.
no, like why didn't I get out of my car, turn around, and say to the car behind me, like, I think, that wouldn't have gone well. But
So if you look at the sign, actually, so I need a green arrow,
Bless you.
and also,
Thank
you're honking, and so you don't know because that's where I am. Something like that.
the funny, yes. The funny thing is, I have thought to myself many times, or maybe just once, when someone else was honking at me, and I felt like this person, it was on the canyons, which are these sort of narrow, hilly streets.
That's a nightmare.
Yes. And there was someone behind me honking at me, and it was making, and eventually I just pulled over to
This
let
was
them go
also
past
yesterday?
me. No, this was another time.
Oh, okay.
This is a while ago. And I was thinking, I should not let someone honking at me make me drive in an unsafe manner. Like if
No, you
I
shouldn't.
were driving a school bus with a bunch of kids in it, and someone, I'm trying to remember the exact analogy they came up with at the time, and I can't remember what it was, but essentially, like, if someone was saying, hey, you have a this, or like, you should be going this, I wouldn't allow one incorrect person to let me jeopardize a bunch of people's lives. So really, I gotta like stick to my guns. And then in this moment, I didn't. Like, I knew, or, well, you know what? They were making me doubt myself.
Sure. Peer pressure.
When a lot of people start honking, I can see how that makes you go like, well, maybe I've read this wrong.
And it wasn't just a toot toot. It was a like
a lean on it.
Oh my God. They wanted to eat me.
Is it possible
That I was wrong? Yes.
that on the side of the road there was a hot babe in a bikini? Have we considered this as a possibility?
Giving out free money.
A classic honk of your horny sign.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we
didn't-
can't rule it out.
Also, maybe there was a union strike going on.
Yeah, another one that we just never heard of.
Right.
I mean, what's up there? Was it at the American Legion? I'm trying to think what's on the
Yes,
what's on Coalinga.
there's like a Hilton.
Yeah,
Right.
That could be hotel workers.
You know what?
I bet it was not, but
Maybe there was a guy in my back seat who was trying to stab me,
They were
and
to
they were
warn you.
honking. Yeah. What would you guys have done in this? So Rory would abandon her car.
sure.
I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have just sat there though, and then when it turned green, really taken a long beat.
Would you really do this?
Yes, I would really do that.
So all of that sounds so like my whole body is allergic to all of that. And by that, I just mean like I'm fearful.
I don't like yell and I don't flip people off because I don't want to get shot. That's like my only fear. But no, I mean, what are you going to do? If you want to come around me and risk your life, by all means, but I'm not going to risk mine for you.
I want to be that person.
Why are you not supposed to turn right there, though?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
I would imagine there were enough accidents for some reason that they had. That's always where I go to, is like there must be an issue that this is addressing.
It's very busy. I bet it's pedestrians because there's a lot of tourists who walk there. They park and then they walk to the Hollywood Boulevard. And I bet because there's so many cars coming and turning there that there were probably a lot of people who weren't waiting for pedestrians. They were just treating it like it was, and probably a lot of people were getting hit. I'm
makes
sure
sense,
they
yeah.
don't do stuff like that for no reason. I'm sure there were a lot of accidents.
Don't you defend them.
So do we
Yeah.
assume that people knew and they just blow through? They just didn't know.
Yeah.
There should be a way to indicate this.
Because especially when they're far back and they can't see
Yeah.
what you're seeing, they're
Exactly.
just like,
They just-
"Go, come
they
on!"
just hear, yeah, exactly. And they hear other people honking, so they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it
Time
too."
to honk.
Yeah.
It's a honk free for all. Well, I didn't appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it hurt your feelings.
It frightened me.
Yeah,
And I'm just disappointed in myself.
For going along with it.
Yeah, I just let
Being
them I let
bullied.
them bully me.
Damn. In Hollywood,
never heard of it.
Bullied in Hollywood.
Doesn't
I
speak
know.
well of your character.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because what would I have done if well, really though, there wasn't any danger. I just could have gotten a ticket.
that's how it
Still.
starts.
Could've.
That's how it
That
starts.
is how it starts. You
It's
start
like,
to
hey.
justify it.
Drive on the sidewalk. Come on, beep beep,
That's right.
beep beep. Get up there.
Yeah, go ahead and plow into that fruit
right.
vendor.
You're right. They're going to see that they can push old Allison Rosen around.
Oh yeah, we've seen this car before. Blow
She
through
is.
this red light,
There she is.
Yeah.
and they don't want to go. They just want to see you do it.
They'll just be behind you, beep beep, and you're robbing a bank now. You know.
Right.
In your
This
little
is-
car.
I know. Letting krill swim in my mouth.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
This is my new fear now.
Krill in your mouth?
No.
Oh,
People honking at me.
Krill honking at you.
Oh my God. What would krill honking sound like?
like very silent. Yeah,
Oh, like a purr.
that's cute.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Joe Kwaczala.
Yes.
What's been going on with you lately?
Goodness. What have I been doing?
It almost sounded like goodness was the noun that you were saying.
Goodness.
Like,
I've been spreading the good word of Christ.
That's what I thought you were.
just goodness.
That's why I'm here today, folks. If we can all join hands, I have some words.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame list of nominees came out, so my podcast is back.
There's never a bad time to rock and roll, man.
Any good ones this year?
I am very excited for Kool and the Gang.
Cool in the game.
That
Feels
is-
overdue.
Yes, and that's a group I have been personally advocating for
to them or on your podcast?
On my podcast, but like not long ago, I just did like a very short episode that was designed because there are people who make decisions with the Rock Hall who I know listen or are aware of the show, and so I put that out just to kind of nudge. And I will be taking credit for their nomination, even if it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I hope they know you're advocating for them.
They do.
How do you know?
I've spoken to their publicist before. And
That's
so
cool.
because they had reached out to me when they released some album, blah, blah, blah. There was some stuff. And I hit them back when it was like, oh, do you know, like I've been advocating for them, blah, blah, blah. I've like written stuff about them in the hall. And they were like, yes. And I figured that's why they sent the message in the first place.
Wait,
So I've
you've
gone back
written
and forth.
stuff about them in the hall? What does that mean?
I have an article on Vulture that's just like, here's artists who've never made the ballot who should, and Cool and Gang was at the top of the list.
Cool. I didn't know you write for Vulture.
I mean, it's the only thing I've written for Vulture.
I didn't know you wrote once for Vulture.
But I update it every year because it's about artists that aren't on the ballot, and when they made the ballot, got to take them off and replace them. And so it's a fun little thing I do at the beginning of each year.
How many years have to pass before they're eligible?
It's 25 years after your first released recording. Could be an album, could be a single, could be an EP.
Who else is up this year?
So this year it's Cher, Mariah Carey, Ozzy Osbourne, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Dave Matthews Band, Mary J. Blige, Sade, Sinead O'Connor, Jane's Addiction, Oasis. I'm sure
God, it feels like a lot of those I would have assumed already had been in.
And then David Matthews Band.
David
David Matthews Band?
David Matthews.
That wasn't even on purpose?
Whoa. Okay. Play it.
Clip it.
The David Matthews Band.
We already have it.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Well, you like to be proper. You're respectful.
yes, I do not turn right on red illegally under normal circumstances. No. So what happened is many years ago, I said I thought I said the Dave Matthews Band. And everyone pointed out that I said the David Matthews Band. I'm like, that was like my teeth chattered or something. Like I truly did not intend to
But
say it.
now you say it.
And now that was accidental. I don't think of them
The
that
David Matthews
way.
Band.
Oh, God.
That's what his mother calls it.
Yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't think. How do you feel about them being nominated?
They've been nominated once before, and I, at the time, was not thrilled. It felt very... It was almost as soon as they became eligible, and I was like, I don't know if they're like one of those bands that gets in right away. But,
Right.
you know, it's been a few years. Dave was at... Dave. I call him Dave, not David. I'm less respectful. Last year, he showed up for Willie Nelson's induction. He played, and he gave the speech for Willie, and it was good, and it kind of warmed me to him as well.
Was he campaigning?
Well,
I feel like he's a political guy.
That's the thing is often, you know, Peter Frampton was also at the Hall last year. And Lenny Kravitz, who's nominated this year, inducted Lionel Richie 2 years ago. And so it's like there can be this kind of tit for tat, like I'll show up and do a thing. And then like, oh, look at that. I was nominated the next year. It's been happening for, as long as the Hall has existed. A political game is afoot.
So these are just the nominations.
These are just nominations. There will be 7 or so of these names that actually get in.
Huh.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's your podcast?
Oh, thank you. It's called "Who Cares About the Rock Hall," and
Okay.
its reason for existence is that I didn't realize no one else was an expert on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that most people don't even think about it at all. But they're
Is
like
it your Roman Empire?
yeah, honestly,
For real?
And there's like kind of a strange juxtaposition of like. It's peripheral. Nobody really pays attention to it. They say everyone is like, well, who cares? It doesn't matter. And yet everybody has like you get them going. They have like really strong opinions about it. And also it is, I have seen it so clearly important in the music industry and the people who get inducted. It like is an emotional moment and it is like the lifetime achievement award in the music industry. And yet like reconciling that with its status kind of in the zeitgeist as like, what even is that? How does that work? I heard it's stupid.
Right.
Do you think it's because it's in Ohio? No offense to Ohio.
I didn't even know that.
Well, that's where the museum is. But these concerts and these induction ceremonies often are in New York. Every other year they're in Cleveland, but they've been in LA and, you know, maybe. But I think its position in Cleveland is probably good for both the Hall and certainly Cleveland because it's like it doesn't have to compete with anything.
Now, your fascination with it, and we probably talked about this when you came on the Monday show that I can't remember, but are you obsessed with music or lists?
Both. And so that's why it's like a perfect combination.
Across the board lists?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are some other
This must
lists
be
that
a
you're
season
super
that's
into?
really good for you.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like award season.
Oh yeah,
lot
yeah.
Of lists.
I like awards as well because of the list aspect of it.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. This must be a really exciting time.
But especially
for you.
entertainment. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Entertainment lists, more so than like sports lists. I'm not a sports guy, but when it starts to get like into like bracket territory,
Oh boy.
I do start to, or playoffs. Like that's when I start to pay attention a little bit.
On Childish, Greg Fitzsimmons said, "Okay, what are your, top 3 desert island albums?" It's a very antiquated question,
Yeah,
but I
Right.
thought like
I would use my cell phone to call for help.
right. But I thought, I don't like answering these kind of questions. But you probably love them,
Well,
right?
I less so the personal list and more so like I grew up watching like VH1's like 100 greatest lists and like the Rolling Stone lists that would come out, 500 greatest albums or whatever.
Right.
And even like I am one of those people who can tell you like who's won Best Picture and like the nominee list for most Oscar years and stuff. So those are more the types of lists I like. Because they're reaching for objectivity. Obviously, they're all flawed in their own ways, but like they're reaching for some sort of consensus, which
So-
I think is interesting.
Wait, if we just name a year, you can tell us what movie won Best Picture that year?
Unless it was a really old year, but yeah, like of the past 50 years, probably.
2014.
2014 was Birdman.
What? Oh my gosh. I don't even know where I was in 2014. Like, I mean, I was in Los Angeles, but if you put a gun to my head and said, "What did you do in 2014?" I'd be like, well, I guess that's it for me.
Well, goodbye, world.
Yeah.
Okay, 1985,
Out of Africa.
84.
Amadeus.
What?
Anyone else
This
wanna
is
say years?
Crazy. No one else is
1978.
like shocked?
No, I
78 was The Deer Hunter.
75.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
91.
91 was Silence of the Lambs.
God, that's that old?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. Daniel, do you care to say a
wild.
year?
Oh wow. 97.
It's Titanic.
No, that was 99.
No, it's 97. 99 was American Beauty.
I'm shook.
Yeah, I know.
This is one of the
Titanic came out in
craziest things that I
99.
think has
Absolutely
ever
not.
like happened.
Sorry,
to
I
me
hate to say it to you, but
No, I
I
believe
know
you.
for a fact.
But now you're not like an autodidact, right?
I really thought you were going to ask another question.
Now you're not an automobile turned into man. I don't know
which
exactly.
is what Mary Lou Henner is. Who?
No, oh my god,
Okay.
I'm fascinated though with her story.
I think she can like remember everything.
Everything that has ever happened to her. You can literally
Yeah.
be like,
Yes.
what happened on May 1st, 1980?
Insane.
And she will tell you what she had for breakfast. She'll run through the entire day. That is a literal
Whoa.
like brain condition.
Is
And
that
what,
painful? Like emotional?
you know what's interesting is I watched
question.
like a. I don't think it was exactly 60 minutes. It might have been. It was it was either 60 minutes or something like it. And
or
they
59 minutes.
Yeah, it was 58 to 63 minutes, somewhere in between there. I don't know. But they talked to her, and it's interesting. She's like, I've had a blessed life. Like, it doesn't bother me. And then they talk to other people with the condition, which is very rare. And they are all like, it is a living hell. I have to live all of.
Is it because the attention? She's always paying attention.
Or maybe because she can't forget painful
Yes,
things.
I think that's exactly it. Like any bad thing that has happened,
Yeah, it doesn't get like washed.
Does- you-
Sands of time don't wash it away.
it's present. But Mary Lou Henner has had like a very nice life and is like a rich and
So
famous.
it's great. It's
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, like they're literally she's in like a convertible with the person interviewing her, and they're just like, yeah, it's fine. No, I was on the set of Taxi for that one. Blah blah blah.
Boy, you better have a good life if that's how your brain is.
Tony,
Wow.
can you look up autodidact
That's
just
crazy.
to see if, in case I might be giving.
Is that the right?
the word?
Yeah.
Or if you could Google what the hell's going on with Mary Lou Henner, that will also probably get you there.
Or who's kissing Mary Lou?
I'd watch the show.
It looks like a self-taught person.
Then no, that's not what it is.
Man, people must have been screaming as they were
Yes.
listening to.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not that though. I'm not self-taught. I mean, I guess I'm self-taught in the terms of the Best Picture stuff.
Yeah.
It's inspiring though when I hear about people like that because obviously my brain isn't anything like that. But there is this feeling that it's hard to learn new things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just go, oh, you're older, and it's just like, what I know is what I know. I'm
Yeah.
not cramming any new information in there. And it's like, your brain's capable of fitting a lot of information. Like you can fit a lot more than you are
Could be an
trying to
autodidact.
put in there. Yeah.
Now, when is Allison going to learn what autodidact means?
Today.
We'll see if it sticks.
Yeah. If yes.
You're shaking your head.
No.
Yeah, ain't happening.
Well, then what does
David
Mary Lou
Matthews.
Henner have?
David Matthews was an
Just
autodidact.
photographic memory. That's
Is it,
what I
I feel like there's another term, but I could be wrong, obviously.
I'd never even heard of this. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a lot today.
I aim to teach.
superior autobiographical memory.
No.
I mean, that's hyperthmesia is also
Maybe
sometimes
that's
what it's called.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
That's what
of.
you were reaching for. Hyperthmesia.
It was just rolling off your tongue.
Hyperthmesia.
Excuse me, no, hyperthymesia. I neglected to see that Y. Hyperthymesia.
Allison's always pronounced it strange.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Hyperthymestic syndrome or highly superior autobiographical memory. as
I would
was
want
just said.
to highly superior. Let's put that in the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to let people know.
All right. So Joe's been all thinking about the Rock Hall. Rory, what have you been doing lately?
Oh my God, I don't even know.
Goodness.
I mean, that's the difference between his brain and mine. I'm like, where was I?
It's a blessing for me.
yesterday? No, I'm around. I'm good. Kicking it, living, interviewing people, talking about heartbreak, writing my book.
What book are you writing?
Probably shouldn't have mentioned it because I can't talk about it.
Oh, can we leave that in though, that you're writing your book?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony and I and Tony was here. Do you know who Molly Roden Winter is? She wrote that book Open, a memoir of open marriage. that
Sounds
was,
really
pretty
familiar.
buzzy. And I read her. She was delightful. It's everyone go listen. Well, go listen to that. And then right after or right before, listen to, I'm taking a detour for a second. We had Nora Smith and Pete Smith on the show, their father and daughter. Nora Smith is the co-showrunner of Bob's Burgers, and her dad is did Adult Swim and Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and he has now a music album out with Jay Gonzalez of Drive By Truckers. Wendy Molyneux, who fan favorite, recommended them. That was such a fun episode, I thought. So go listen to that. But anyway, so
Wait, sorry. Does that relate to open marriages?
no, that was
okay. I just I was trying to keep the thread.
no.
So you know what? Eventually, you just give up.
Okay, got it. Sweet surrender.
But Molly, we had her on the show. Interesting interview. She was delightful. However, her book, which I read, so it's all about her open marriage. I found it so depressing. And it reminded me.
Did you tell her that?
I found it oddly inspiring.
I was say Daniel's wiping his brow like,
Yeah, yeah.
Did
Oh,
she
yeah,
find
honey.
it?
Totally depressing, right?
I imagine there could be a telling
Aspirational.
of open marriage that. Oh, well, that's a question. Could
I
there be
interviewed a girl,
telling?
Paloma Garcia Lee. She was in Spielberg's West Side Story, and she's a Broadway actress, and she was in a relationship for 13 years and married and had 2 boyfriends at the time.
And how was it for her?
Great. She loved it.
And that
she
felt
still identifies as poly.
Polyamorous.
Yeah. And
Who was she in the movie?
I don't know. Sorry.
One of them. She was one of them.
She's blonde. That might narrow it down.
Okay.
And yeah, it was fascinating listening to her talk about it and how they would multitask that and how they were a family. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get your perspective. I did an open relationship once. It only worked for me because I don't think I actually cared. I don't know that I could.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could really do it if I really cared. I've never taken it off the table because I just feel like I can't fast forward 20 years into the future. And if I'm with somebody for 10, 15, 20 years, is that going to be one day we wake up and it's the thing we do for I don't know, a couple of months to spice things up and then go back to being closed? Maybe. I'm not strictly opposed to it because you never say never, but
Right.
I obviously inherently understand how that could be a bummer.
I think it was her particular experience with it that left me feeling that way because she really is telling a very honest version of it. And there's just a lot of it reminded me of a lot of my exploits in my 20s of like just settling
Say no
for
more.
less than
Yes,
I
I understand.
and she was really trying to find herself, and there's a lot of guys who mistreated her, and it just, I don't know, the whole thing just felt sad to me.
That's terrible.
I know that sounds so judgmental. Joe,
Yes.
open relationship, would you ever do it?
I don't think so. But I have
Okay, old man.
never said never. But I probably not. I don't think so.
Tony.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, no, I wouldn't, right? I mean, I am way too lazy. And
Well, that's the thing too, is like you have to
it's
really
too-
like being around
Seems
people.
a lot of work.
There's
It's a lot of work. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
She
with-
went on multiple dates each
Ay,
week.
ay, ay.
that-
I know.
That's like big love. Watching that show about the polygamy.
Polygamy. You were so close. Honestly,
was
we were all
so
going to give it
close.
to you. Yeah.
Fix
Polygamy.
that in post.
Yeah, you got it.
And just like, oh my God, you can have it. Like, go ahead
Yeah.
and do that if you want to. That is a nightmare. One is a nightmare.
Yeah, dating sucks.
Huge nightmare. So like 2, imagine. It's no, I just think about the managing of the relationship as being like
That's a lot.
it's
Yeah.
too much.
The zippers on my jacket are hitting the table and it's making an annoying noise. I'm sorry to anyone who thought, what is that sound? I would like to now say hello and welcome to the new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Hello and welcome to Irene Palmerton, to Aaron Schlegel, to Lindsay Chandler, to Celeste Cacucciolo. Cacucciolo. Listen, people, that's me standing up to all those people honking. No, but anyway, listen, people will say to me, you got my name right. No one ever pronounces it right. So now, like, I feel the pressure.
pressure,
Yeah. I think it's Cacucciolo. Chloe Stanley, Lauren R., Larissa Allen, Kay, and Robin Burke. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for becoming patrons. I hope you're loving all the stuff. Interact with me. Take advantage of your access. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen. Now, as you may have noticed, usually by this time in the show, I would, as queen of segues, I would have segued to this ad, to that ad, to this ad, probably that many, you
The
know?
other ad?
Sometimes one more, but I don't know, it depends. But there just would have been a lot of like chances for me to show off my segue skills. My segue skills are dying on the vine right now, you guys, because I'm crazy. And also because it is not a great time for advertising in the podcast industry or just for my podcast. I don't know. Every time I say this, other people are like, yeah, it's bad for me too. But then
Some jerk who's like, it's never been better.
yeah. So what
No,
I'm
that doesn't
saying is I'm making a direct plea to you. If you have enjoyed my podcast over the years, I am relying on your direct support. It's never been like this, guys. It's never been a labor of love. It's been a labor of profit. And, and now it is a labor of love, but really so many people have stepped up and signed up for Patreon. So thank you. I would also like to remind you, I'm doing a newsletter and there's a subscription tier for that as well. And that's AllisonRosen.substack.com. But you can get to all of this by going to Allison'sLinks.com. Okay, I think it is time to do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
I have one. I realized I do not like the experience of watching a whodunit and feeling a lot of suspense. Wait, are you agreeing with me, Rory? Oh, yay.
my
Okay.
God, yes.
Because I like spoilers. I like to know what's going to happen. And it doesn't ruin it for me. I imagine like it could, but so we were watching True Detective and got to a point where I was like, I just want to spoil it for myself. But I didn't. And instead, I watched it. I felt all the emotional manipulation of it. And then I felt disappointed by the ending. And I thought, I wish I had just fucking read that. I think I might have enjoyed it more. Just me?
No, not just
It's just
you.
us, I think.
I've never related to anything more.
I love that.
I feel like my nervous system can't handle it. I don't watch a lot of things because I'm like, no, I can't turn the dial down like a normal person. So the second it gets suspenseful, I'm now in fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And that's like a defect in my body. And I understand that. So my thing is I'll be on a date. I don't care. I will whip that up. Even if I have to like pee or something. And then I'm like, okay, what happens in this
What
movie?
happened in this date?
And not, yeah. Am I walking into a haunted house? Yes. I will look and I will find out the ending just so that I can survive it. I've also had to take Xanax sometimes. It's not great. This is very embarrassing.
To watch a show?
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to know. I actually like to know ahead of time.
Me too.
I just hate surprises.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're the
Dang.
same.
I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Of course.
same.
That's normal.
And
yeah,
I
normie.
I get it.
No
I
offense.
get into this with my my girlfriend, who I think is with you guys.
Oh,
Maybe it's a
Because-
lady thing.
Yeah, it's probably
Could
because we've
be.
been traumatized for most of our lives. We just don't worry about
Life
getting murdered.
is a whodunit.
Wow. But when we're watching something and I've seen it and she hasn't, she will be like,
Yeah.
"Does he die?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Why would you want to know that?" Like,
Yeah.
we're,
This is us.
This is us.
this is like the
Just tell
Same,
me.
same, yes.
like this is part of like the experiences. You don't know what's going to happen, and then like it's a
the
it's a
worst-
powerful moment when
You're
like
gonna miss
when he
that.
you
dies.
see if you see if they
Revelation.
live or not, and then yeah, it will just constantly be like, just tell. Like,
Yes, I know.
is he gonna? And she's also when she watches something, she is constantly trying to guess what's going to happen, and I am just like, let it ride. Let's see how this goes. I'm not. If it's a whodunit, I'm really not even
Trying to figure it out?
No, not at all. Because I
will
just enjoy
try
the
to
ride.
I will try to figure it out, but I don't spoil it though.
Yeah.
I never guess it. I don't think I've ever guessed it. I know who done it. Like I'm always wrong. I'm terrible at it.
I don't think that's you being terrible. I think that's the way it's written.
Well, I've found that often, they'll hide.
It's like the Clue movie.
It's always
Not
like
really,
a person
but-
you haven't met before or whatever. It's like
It depends. I think a good whodunit probably is seeding clues from the beginning. But I feel like this has been my ballywick. Look that up. Am I using that correctly?
My autodidact.
This has been my it's probably wrong. That's unfortunately, I am the kind of person who I'm aging out of my good vocabulary. And by that, I mean, I had a good vocabulary, but now I'm aging and I'm forgetful. So I'm just like pulling things, but I'm pulling
any
all
word.
the wrong.
Any word that's accessible.
Any word will do. Any word that sounds big.
Yeah.
This is my thing that I've been saying lately. I think many whodunits are disappointing.
Who's done it? Is the
Yeah.
proper plural.
well,
Yes, who's done it?
Who's done it?
I think after this last True Detective season, I've had a come to Jesus moment with the whodunit genre and realized I don't know I don't know that there are many that I have liked.
Interesting.
I don't think that it's a genre I care for.
I will say a friend of mine who's very into the genre was telling me where he draws the line between what is a good whodunit and what is bad. He said what's really important is that you as the viewer, the audience, has to have access to every clue so
Yes,
that you
that
could
makes
figure it out.
sense.
Because if they reveal it and it's a bunch of shit that you didn't
What's the fun of that?
yeah, you didn't. Then like that's cheating. Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
have to be able to show, and that's part of the art and the craft of the whodunit is being able to not lead your audience on to what's about to happen with those clues, but be able to present them and not make it obvious.
So
Right.
by those standards, this season of True Detective did not pass, right? We'd have to watch it again. Probably.
I'd have to think about it. I'm not. It's such a confused
Did any of you watch it?
season.
I did
that
not
I
watch
don't
it,
know
no.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Tony, what's Ballywick? This is who said it?
It
Who knew it?
One's sphere of operations or particular area of interest.
Okay, so
I
that
feel like
worked.
that kind of works.
Kind of worked, yeah.
Yeah, like my cause celeb.
Yeah.
All right.
It's also the district of the district or jurisdiction of a bailiff.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I was going to say,
Yeah.
circling back to the drowning thing. Obviously, I can't really. I need to know so that I don't have more fears.
You need to know.
Like if I get too like invested in the like intensity of something, I'm going to give myself more fears.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to look it up, you mean?
Yeah. And then I can be like, okay,
Can
she
relax.
dies.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
she drowned.
Duh.
Okay.
Who didn't know that?
So Daniel and I let it go because I am an autodidact, but and a bailiff. But we're watching True Detective. Okay, Daniel has been watching ahead, and I give him permission to because mostly
You fall asleep 5 minutes in, and then I'm just in there just like,
yeah, it's fine.
I
with
want
me.
to watch the show.
So he watched like episode 4 or something of True Detective. It doesn't matter what episode. He watched an episode, and he's like, "Oh my god, that was so creepy. I wish I hadn't watched that."
Right before bed.
Yeah. And he has a pretty high threshold for creepy stuff. So I was nervous about
I
that.
didn't feel that strong, but it was kind of like,
I was nervous about that. So we watched that one and, I didn't watch the scary parts and he told me when I could look again and kind of told me what was going on. So then we watched the next one and he's like, this one is intense, but there's nothing visually scary. But he forgot something. So I'm just watching it.
Eyes as wide as possible.
No finger lattices in front. You know, I'm not behind a blanket or anything. I'm just like a baby bird with my mouth open. And then and then this is him. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, wait. No.
No, it was after I went, oh, I forgot about that one. I'm so sorry.
Divorce.
What a dick.
yeah, it sucked.
Damn.
I mean, I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Has
I
there ever been a
survived.
whodunit though, where you've really thought about it? Because part of the problem with it is that once you find out who done
Feels
it,
real
it's like
one note, one
I feel like
trick.
at the end of each one, someone should announce, and that's who done it, and then you can just move on with your life. You know who done it.
No,
and
a good whodunit.
What's
You would have
What
to go
stays with
back
you?
and like retrace it all.
I know,
You'd
but
want
there's
to.
nothing about it. Like the whole point of one of those generally is like solving a puzzle, and it's like you never think about a crossword after you've done it.
Like maybe like Fight Club. I mean, that's not like traditional or
Right.
like Brick or
Shattered.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Usual
The question is, usually that genre doesn't stay
Disposable.
with me.
I
It's
see.
not
It's
something that I
just
think
like
about because the whole
wipe your
point of it
hands.
is just to
It's like
know
pulpy.
who did the thing. And once you know who done the thing,
You've
there's
known it.
rarely. I'm sure there are examples of really good ones where it's like, yes, but it's about this bigger idea or something. But usually, I find they're not.
Well, I loved A Murder at the End of the World. That's sort of like a whodunit.
I don't know that.
It's an FX show, Britt Marlene, and it's filmed like almost exclusively in Iceland, and I loved it.
That's where True Detective was filmed. Is it dark all the time? Or does it actually have day and night?
Yeah, it's pretty much dark all the time. Not really, like, but it's
Yeah.
like I used to call it the dim, which I think is really just dusk. It kind of looked like that, the way that it looks right now.
Which is pretty blue. I realized I really don't like and I enjoy the color blue, but not in my shows. Like Ozark.
Oh.
Ozark.
You won't watch Ozark because
It's too green
Icy.
blue. Yeah, and then also someone showed a picture of the first episode of Cheers, which I would like to go back and watch Cheers. It was it always made me feel very lonely when I was a kid and it would come on. And I think but I saw it and I was like, it's the same, it's as green blue as, is it Ozark or the Ozarks?
Ozark.
Ozark. It's the same color palette as that, and I do not care for it.
You would really hate A Murder at the End of the World. I don't suggest you watch
Sounds like
it.
I won't be watching it.
Also, don't watch Avatar.
And I won't be watching that either. All right, who else has a just mirror? Everyone.
Well, I've got one. When I snap my fingers, I do not use my middle finger. I use my ring finger.
Oh, interesting.
What? Wait,
I used to.
I can't do that.
Oh wait. Oh, your
Oh,
ring
yeah.
finger.
My ring finger.
Were you thinking index?
So
Yeah.
I just get a better sound.
Let's
like,
hear 'em both.
Okay,
Okay. Oh my gosh.
and I'll do it on the mic. That's the flaccid version. That's my middle finger. The alleged proper
Right,
version.
the
This
snap
is
finger.
the ring finger.
wow. Can you do it on both hands?
Crazy.
I think it's less so on my non-dominant hand left, but that's
That's your
the
ring.
that's the ring, and then that's
Do you have
the
a
middle.
strong ring finger or a weak middle finger?
Perhaps both. But Like this
But
is
you've
another.
overcompensated. It's beautiful.
I guess I mean, and here I am. Take me as I am, Lord.
Your hands look normal, but they're not.
Thank
apparently.
you. That's really what I was trying to get out of this.
Yeah.
But no, they are deeply fucked up. But yeah, my girlfriend thinks it's weird, and I'm just like, well, does it really matter which finger it is? I guess to her.
Wow.
I'm gonna just not say anything.
We're all thinking something
Yeah.
like that.
When I mention fingers in the context of my relationship, there's something that comes to mind. Okay.
Yes. Remember
That's all ring, baby.
Wow.
so Elliot was really into Frozen. Has everyone seen Frozen here?
No,
I actually haven't.
Okay,
Whoa.
it's a Disney. It's a cute Disney movie.
I know what
You guys
it
know
is.
what it is.
let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Olaf.
Yes.
See, I know things.
So Elliot had this stuffed, or they call them plushies now. They're stuffed animals in my mind, but this plushie Olaf. When I wrote this down because it struck me as funny, he said, "Daddy, my finger smells like Olaf.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
My finger smells like Olaf." Now I feel weird that I mentioned it because to
Ooh,
me
now
it's
it's
funny, but
awkward.
everyone's uncomfortable. Okay.
Yeah.
Now everyone try to snap with their ring finger. Yeah, it's just weird.
And then I'll do it.
Wow.
Versus
That's
like
crazy.
just normal snaps.
And then yeah,
Can't do
just
it. I mean, my
so
snaps
weak.
are kind of weak anyway, I guess.
just not
Can't
doing
do
it.
Can't do it.
Oh, look at you. Now try
you-
your ring finger. Yeah. When did you start doing this?
Since always, since like whenever you learn to snap, which is like when
You don't remember the
elementary
exact
school.
date?
Well, when I went to
Mary Lou had her
snapping
one.
class,
It is a big deal when you learn to snap. Like Elliot he'll be like, "Look,
hasn't
I can do
figured
it."
mm,
He's trying. At first, he
and
started.
you
Look.
laugh in his face.
Yeah. It's
Push
like,
him over.
Try again. Get out of here.
No, I get very excited for his
attempts.
non-snaps.
His attempts.
Yes.
You go, you're getting there, bud.
Yeah, but he hasn't tried with his ring finger. That's crazy.
That might be the key to unlock
Yeah.
this whole
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Anyone else have a just mirror? Everyone. No pressure if you don't, but let's hear it if you do.
Nope.
Yeah, I
I
don't have
mean,
one
I
this week.
guess I have one. It's just not good. But
That's great.
We'll see.
We'll be the judge.
Wow.
I'll be judging, and if it's bad, get her out of here. And I'll be snapping.
I really hate sleeping in cold rooms. I have noticed it's a thing that like every dude on the planet wants to sleep in a cold room. And I'm like, but then I'm cold. And when I inevitably have to wake up in the morning, well, I guess that's a blessing. I made that sound
Right.
bad. But like
When consciousness
when
revisits
consciousness comes back, or if I have to pee in the middle of the night, then I'm like, ooh, I'm freezing, my feet are cold, it takes like a minute to adjust, and I don't really give a shit that all of these like biohack bros with podcasts are like, it improves your quality of
you.
life.
How
Is
cold
that-
are we talking?
Is that a thing? Wait, what
Oh,
do they say about it?
Yeah, like every tech entrepreneur that has a podcast is like, well, I always sleep in the cold. I do this, and then I wake up, and then a cold plunge, and it's like I'm so sick of being cold.
Yeah.
I do think of that as like another classic male female like woman is always cold, like that. Just feels like a long standing. But the sleeping aspect of it, and I did not know this about the
No, me
tech
neither.
bros.
I mean, I know about the cold plunge, but
Sure.
how cold? Like they don't heat their rooms at all. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and it's like down to a science. Like I've heard certain people, I'm like, I don't want to necessarily drag anybody,
Andrew
but like
Huberman.
talk about like the actual temperature at which they keep their room that's like for optimal sleep.
And what is it supposed to be?
I have no idea because I've never paid attention because I've gone, it's too cold for me. I'm not doing that. I was like, my optimal sleep is warm, toasty.
Oh, see, that's interesting. I like to be in a cold room with a heat pad. That's
Okay.
ideal
That
for me.
feels like a hack.
Yes. But I don't do it to like hack. It's just what's comfortable
Yes,
for me.
yes.
And then I started having night sweats, which is a whole brand new thing for me. But we lowered the temperature a little bit to 65 for anyone who's tracking. And so now everything's good, except it is cold in the morning. You would not want to
Does the
spend the night.
heat pad go the whole night or does it tap out at a certain point?
It shuts off after 2 hours. But,
Okay.
But
so you fall
during
asleep with it.
Yes.
Okay.
But around circa night sweats, I was letting it go the whole night. And then I was like, I don't know if this is my body hormones or if this is, I'm just getting too hot with the heat pad on. Or if it's when the heat actually kicks in our room. I think it might have been that too. And I was like under a heat vent.
Okay.
You would have liked it probably.
Yeah, I would have loved it.
Is there a thing, like, is there any too warm for you?
I mean, yeah, I am really temperature sensitive. So I feel like I don't fuck with the sun. Like I just don't do it at all. So anything kind of like when we get into the 80s, I don't love that.
Yeah.
But I can probably sleep through anything.
Do you have like a duvet, a down comforter with a duvet and stuff? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I always have to turn the temperature down for anyone that stays. And not just like friends that stay over.
Yeah, you just like it extra warm.
Apparently, I didn't know that.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I think that might be just you.
Yeah.
There's someone who's listening who's like, it's me too.
DM me.
Yeah. You guys you can room together. Let's quickly do Podcast Pals product picks.
Podcast Pals product picks.
Joe.
Yes.
What is yours?
Mine is a thing that should be called the Beard Bib, but it's just called Beard King. And it was a Shark Tank product that I purchased. And what you do is it's for shaving if you're bearded or just,
Oh, yeah, I saw this episode.
You know this?
Yeah.
It fully addresses a thing that I had been like that I have attempted to do. I'm laying down toilet paper on the sink. Because before you
I've seen this.
Before you trim your beard, or if you're just shaving or whatever, and there's whiskers, it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And like what this does is you hook it around the back of your neck, and it's a cloth, and then you like suction cup it up to the mirror.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's catching it.
It's so smart.
It's perfect. You shave, it catches it, and then when you're done, you just kind of like bundle it up, and then put it in the trash, or like I don't know,
or mail it to somebody.
Mail it to an enemy or friend, depending on what they like or hate, and
Right.
then
That's great.
It's a good efficient cleanup.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The
Beard King.
It should be called Beard
King.
Bib. You're right.
Yeah.
They really missed.
But
that.
I think part of it
Well,
is
they
like
don't want to.
they want the Beard King can have
You're
probably,
a king. You look like you're a baby while you have it, so you don't want to reinforce that they're a
Right,
baby.
right.
I get the sense they also
Beard
probably
spa.
have other products like beard oil or whatever, like just other things. They don't want to. I don't know, but yeah, Beard Bib is what it is.
Right.
It is the closest thing to a bib that I own personally.
But I feel like guys are so weird about buying stuff that you couldn't. You guys would not buy it if it's like, I'm not baby.
yeah, right.
I'm a king. You know?
Yeah, it makes me think of another Shark Tank product, Dude Wipes.
Yeah.
Which is just
Didn't we
I
have
feel
some
like
of those?
I feel like those are very popular.
Dude wipes are hilarious because they're massive, and the whole idea
They're
that it's
bigger.
like, and it's like
your butthole is.
I got a big butthole.
it's like, ladies, you're not gonna want to use these. These are for dude shits, you know, like. It's so stupid.
That is a question I have, and I don't know that anyone here is equipped to answer. But is a female butthole smaller than a male butthole?
Of course.
Well, aren't average
Proportional.
women? Yeah, I would think it was proportional. So on average, probably.
Yeah, the average is smaller, honey.
But I mean, if we're comparing like a WNBA player to an actor, probably not.
Yeah, like right.
Chalamet
Chalamet's
versus
yeah.
Rebecca Lobo.
You think he has like a little teeny little butthole?
What if he didn't?
I'm not talking about the butt.
Like, what if
I'm
Chalamet?
talking about
Look at the hole.
What if
Yeah.
Chalamet had like
We
a
got it.
shack?
It's in the name.
We're
I've had
with you.
a dark butthole my whole life and I didn't even know.
Love her.
Yes. Guys, if you know about butthole size, and then I guess I gotta really figure out what I'm asking because
Before you take it to Congress.
am I talking about the like maximum dilation, just watch, or am I talking
Average
about the
circumference.
way? Yes, exactly. I don't exactly know what I'm asking, so a lot goes into this.
And out.
Right, because it's
A lot
basically
comes
like
out.
rubber bands.
Right,
It's like a human rubber band.
right. So are we talking right?
Undulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This does sound like a question that
So it feels
doctors
like
could probably answer.
But for me, it's like a Buddhist Cohen. Cohen.
Buddhist Cohen. He's
He's a lawyer.
He's a convert.
Oh my God. Okay. We had a birthday party for Elliot, and he was saying cake. It was cake time.
Uh-oh.
And he was
I
like,
see where this is going.
he was saying the equivalent of cake, 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 cake. But he decided a fun way to say it would be to pronounce it like the word that I'm not saying.
It's a long I vowel sound.
I. Yeah, I.
Like bike.
Yes.
Right.
Oh.
And I just
Did that not
turned
go the way you thought it was going?
No, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know, like when you were watching the TV show and then it just came. And he was like, "Sorry, that was me just now."
Right, yeah. And so I just turned. No one like registered it or anything.
You're like phones down.
Except me, yeah.
Right.
And I just turned to him and it's his birthday party, and I go, "Don't say that word." And then which he hasn't asked me about why I said that. It's like we're very free with words and bad words and all. I mean, he knows like these are words that you wouldn't want to say in public,
Publicly,
but
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
like shamed him or anything. It's the first time I've ever said anything like "don't say that" to him. It was the weirdest thing.
That is strange. It's how Australian
Really, in
of
a
your
way.
son.
Yes,
Oh my god.
you're right.
We can spin it that way.
Yeah.
He spent some time in
Down
Down Under.
Rory, do you have a podcast pals product pick?
Yeah, I have two. I'll do one for skin just because it's us. But the first one would be pizza scissors.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like not a roller.
No, pizza scissors. Oh fuck, they're just everything.
I gotta know how they're different
I
from
don't know
regular
what you're
scissors.
talking about.
They're
Really?
for cutting pizza.
Well, I know that, but like what?
Oh, I thought you were talking about skincare. I'm like,
Oh no, no,
your
no.
eyelashes or something?
No. Like the pizza scissors is
Oh.
just for anybody that eats pizza or cooks it at home. And they look like regular scissors, but you can break them apart so you can clean them.
Oh.
And then it kind of makes a flat little piece so that you can put the pizza on it and it doesn't slip.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's got like a
Like a little lip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then skincare wise, I could just do this for an hour, but I won't. Let's see. Have you ever talked about high frequency wands?
I mean, I'm curious about them.
Okay. I would say that that's like a go-to product for men and women. A high frequency wand will kill the bacteria in your skin. So if you have acne, it also like, I don't know if I buy all the stuff with collagen, but in terms of using, it's like $100. Sometimes you can get them
Like
on
the
sale.
Solar
so it's,
Wave, is that like one?
no, Solar Wave is red light.
Oh, okay.
They do have a Solar Wave that's blue light. Blue light also kills acne, but I don't believe that works as efficiently as high frequency. High frequency makes like a zapping sound. It almost sounds like you're like a bug zapping a bug. And if it hurts, you can put cheesecloth over so that you don't directly touch the skin, but don't be a bitch. Just
So like what's a brand of one you would recommend? Or should I just Google high frequency wand?
Puraderm, I think is what it is. Yeah, there's like Skin Gym has one. A bunch of places have their own, and I don't care where you get it from. But I think that for $100, like when I get a zit and I'm not feeling lazy, I just zap it, and it really does decrease the size, if not kill it entirely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
That's right,
This-
Butch. Don't be a bitch. Use your, what do you call it? The
High frequency
frequency wand on your skin, dude.
Yeah.
This has been too much fun. Rory, where might we find you?
A Crimes of the Heart podcast, which is available everywhere at I Could Be Blonder on Instagram because I could, and then Rory Uphold everywhere else.
Wonderful, Joe.
At Joe K on Twitter, Joe Kwa on Instagram and TikTok. Who cares about the Rock Hall is back? You can find that at Rock Hall Pod. And I have an album out called Funny Songs and Sketches, which is an aptly named record because that's what that is. And I have a YouTube stand-up special called Recommended Based on Your Search History.
Wonderful, Daniel.
Don't bother.
Okay, Tony.
I'll just, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, tonight at Vidiots in Los Angeles, I'll be playing with Jonah Ray after a screening of the movie he's in called Destroy All Neighbors. Then the punk Weird Al cover band is going to play in the lobby afterwards. I
wanna go to that.
And all that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And follow me everywhere. Thank you. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?